Everyone's talking about the latest celebrity breakup. Your co-workers are dissecting Instagram posts, analysing red carpet body language, picking sides. Meanwhile, you're sat at the table eating your sandwich, wondering what all the fuss is about. You have no idea who these celebrities are and you don't care. Are you living under a rock? Or have you just figured out something the rest of us haven't? Let's talk about the psychology of people who ignore celebrity news, because honestly, there's way more to it than you might think. Here's what's actually happening when we consume celebrity gossip. Humans are literally wired for gossip. Back in small tribes, knowing who betrayed who and who was trustworthy was survival critical. But here's the problem. Your brain can't tell the difference between your actual tribe and the celebrities on screens. When you follow a scandal, your brain treats it like important information about your social group. Except these people will never impact your life. The tabloid industry knows this. They've built a multi-billion-dollar business exploiting your evolutionary psychology. They manufacture drama designed to trigger your gossip instincts. Heroes and villains, cliffhangers and plot twists. It's not journalism, it's emotional manipulation packaged as information. But people who ignore celebrity news, they've rejected this entire system. And there are 4 main psychological profiles that explain why. The first type is the evolutionary awareness person. These people understand exactly what's happening in their brain when they feel pulled towards celebrity gossip. They recognize that their curiosity about famous people's lives isn't random. It's an ancient survival mechanism being hijacked by modern media, and they've made a conscious decision not to let their caveman brain control their attention in the 21st century. These people have developed what psychologists call metacognition, the ability to think about their own thinking. When they feel that pull to click on a celebrity headline, they pause and ask, "Why do I want to know this?" And when they realize it's just their tribal gossip instinct being triggered, they choose not to engage. They're not fighting their biology, they're just being intentional about when to listen to it and when to override it. The second type is the social dynamics skeptic. This person has figured out something that most people miss about celebrity gossip. It's not really about the celebrities. It's about social bonding through shared knowledge. When your co-workers are all discussing the same scandal, they're not actually interested in those famous people. They're performing group membership. They're signaling that they're part of the in-group, that they consume the same media, that they belong. Celebrity knowledge functions as tribal currency. It's a low-stakes way to connect with people without revealing anything personal about yourself. You can have a 15-minute conversation about a famous couple's breakup without discussing anything real about your own life. And for many people, that's comfortable. But the social dynamics skeptic sees this for what it is: surface-level connection that masquerades as real bonding. These people would rather have one genuine conversation about something that matters than 10 superficial conversations about celebrities. They understand that they might seem less socially fluent because they can't participate in these rituals, but they've accepted that trade-off. They're willing to experience moments of social disconnection rather than constantly filling their brain with information designed to help them perform belonging. The third type is the class-conscious realist. This person has connected some uncomfortable dots about celebrity worship and economic inequality. They've noticed that celebrity culture flourishes most in societies with extreme wealth gaps. When regular people feel financially stuck, when social mobility seems impossible, when their own lives feel small, celebrity culture offers an escape. You can't afford a better life, but you can watch people who can. You can't achieve fame, but you can feel close to it by following those who have. These people understand that celebrity worship often functions as what Marx would call an opiate for the masses. It's a psychological coping mechanism for economic frustration. The class-conscious realist has realized that every hour they spend consuming celebrity content is an hour they're not thinking about their actual economic situation or how to improve it. They see celebrity culture as a distraction that benefits the people at the top. Keep the masses entertained by the lives of the rich and famous, and they won't notice they're being exploited by the rich and powerful. And then there's the fourth type, the manufactured narrative detector. This person has seen behind the curtain of how celebrity news actually works. They understand that publicists plant stories, that relationships are sometimes fake or exaggerated for publicity, that scandals are often timed to promote projects, that feuds are manufactured to generate clicks. They've realized that celebrity news isn't documenting reality, it's creating a reality show using real people's lives, or at least highly curated versions of those lives. These people have developed a strong resistance to being manipulated. When they see a headline about a shocking celebrity revelation, they don't think, "Oh my God, what happened?" They think, "What is this designed to make me feel? And who profits from me feeling that way?" They can see the strings being pulled, the calculated image management, the strategic leaks, the PR campaigns disguised as authentic moments. And once you see those strings, it's really hard to get invested in the puppet show. But here's where it gets really interesting. The people who ignore celebrity news aren't just opting out of gossip, they're rejecting a fundamental aspect of how modern society functions. Because celebrity culture isn't just entertainment, it's a social glue that holds together incredibly diverse groups of people who might have nothing else in common. Think about it. You can be having lunch with people from completely different backgrounds, different political beliefs, different life experiences, and you might not be able to talk about religion or politics or money without it getting uncomfortable. But you can all discuss a celebrity scandal. It's neutral territory. It's a shared reference point that requires no vulnerability and creates no conflict. People who ignore celebrity news have given up access to this universal social language, and that's a bigger sacrifice than it might seem. In professional settings especially, the ability to engage in light celebrity gossip can be valuable social capital. It makes you seem approachable, culturally aware, easy to talk to. When you don't have that knowledge, you can come across as difficult to connect with, or even arrogant. But there's something these people have gained that's harder to quantify: mental sovereignty. When you're not constantly consuming celebrity news, you're not being told who to admire, who to hate, what to aspire to, what counts as success. Your brain isn't being colonized by other people's narratives. You have more space to develop your own values, your own definition of a good life, your own sense of what matters. The neuroscience backs this up. When you repeatedly consume content about certain people, your brain creates neural pathways associated with them. You're literally rewiring your brain to care about strangers. Every time you click on a celebrity headline, you're reinforcing that pathway. Over time, your brain becomes trained to seek out this information, to care about these people, to feel emotionally invested in their lives. It becomes automatic. People who ignore celebrity news have either never developed these neural pathways or have consciously worked to weaken them. And breaking that habit, if you've already formed it, takes real effort. Your brain will keep serving up curiosity about celebrities because that's the pathway you've reinforced. You have to actively choose to starve that pathway and build new ones. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The tabloid industry has gotten incredibly sophisticated at manufacturing stories that hit your emotional buttons. They're not just reporting on celebrities anymore. They're creating narratives designed to generate specific emotional responses that keep you coming back. They'll build up a celebrity as perfect and beloved, then tear them down when the public starts to resent their success. They'll create love triangles that may or may not exist, because your brain can't resist a good romantic conflict. They'll frame everything as heroes and villains, because moral outrage drives engagement. They'll use provocative headlines that promise shocking revelations and deliver vague speculation. It's manufactured controversy as a business model. The people who ignore celebrity news have become immune to this manipulation, but not because they're smarter. It's because they've either seen it enough times to recognize the pattern, or they never got hooked in the first place. They can look at a tabloid cover and see it not as information, but as a product designed to extract their attention and convert it into advertising revenue. And here's what's particularly insidious. The tabloid industry has gotten better at disguising itself. It's not just the obvious gossip magazines anymore, it's entertainment news segments on legitimate news channels. It's celebrity content mixed into your social media feed. It's podcasts that dissect famous people's lives with the seriousness of political analysis. The line between news and gossip has been deliberately blurred, so you don't realize how much of your information diet is actually celebrity content. There's also the uncomfortable truth about what celebrity worship says about class mobility in our society. In previous generations, there were clear pathways to improving your economic situation. Work hard, get an education, climb the ladder. But for many people today, those pathways feel blocked or impossible. Wages haven't kept up with cost of living, housing is unaffordable, student debt is crushing, the middle class is shrinking. And into this economic anxiety comes celebrity culture. It offers a fantasy of sudden transformation, regular people becoming famous overnight through reality TV or social media, rags to riches stories that suggest anyone could be next, the lottery logic of fame. And while you're consuming these stories, while you're imagining what you'd do if you suddenly became rich and famous, you're not confronting the systematic reasons why economic security feels so out of reach. The class-conscious realist sees celebrity worship as a pressure release valve. It lets people dream about wealth without demanding wealth redistribution. It lets people fantasize about fame without questioning why fame is so valued in the first place. It's not a conspiracy, it's just how power maintains itself. Keep people looking up at celebrities rather than looking around at each other and organizing for change. Now, does this mean everyone who follows celebrity news is being manipulated and distracted from class consciousness? Of course not. People can enjoy celebrity gossip while also being politically engaged and economically aware. But the people who ignore celebrity news have often made a connection between their attention and their agency. They've realized that how they spend their mental energy is a political choice, even if they don't frame it that way. So which type are you? The evolutionary awareness person who recognizes when their tribal brain is being hijacked? The social dynamics skeptic who sees celebrity gossip as performative bonding? The class-conscious realist who understands the economic function of celebrity worship? Or the manufactured narrative detector who can see the puppet strings? Maybe you're discovering you're a mix of all four. Either way, the people who ignore celebrity news aren't missing out. They've just decided that knowing every detail of strangers' lives that are probably being manipulated for profit anyway, isn't worth the cost to their attention, their autonomy, or their understanding of what actually matters. And honestly, in a world where your brain is constantly being fought over by companies trying to monetize your attention, that might be the smartest decision of all.